Disclaimer. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts, guests, and individuals involved. They do not necessarily represent the views or opinions of any affiliated organizations, sponsors, or partners. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional, medical, legal, or financial advice. Always consult a qualified professional regarding any questions or concerns you may have. Warning, this podcast may contain strong language, adult themes, or sensitive topics that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. By listening, you agree that the hosts and producers are not responsible for any actions you take based on the content of this program.
Hey guys, we are on our last episode of season 2. I'm sitting here with Nick Roos. This is episode 10. Nick is, you own or you?
Yeah, so myself, my wife, and my father-in-law, we are partners in the business.
Okay, so and the business we're talking about is SubStitch. Tell us what you guys do.
Okay, so we basically specialize in dye sublimation apparel. So we do anything from horse riding all the way through to the rugby, school sports, all of that type of apparel. The business, can I give you a bit of a background on the business?
Yes.
So it all started actually with MMA. So 2009, I think, was the first EFC that was held at the Dome.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was, I think it was November 2009. Myself and one of my friends, Dave Giles, we went to go watch that first event. And the guys were selling Silver Star t-shirts there, $1,200 for a t-shirt.
Yeah, I remember that brand.
Yeah, and it was very popular. And I was like, yo, I know what it takes to make a t-shirt. Like, we should get into the clothing thing. And then, obviously, after watching the fights and that, there was a need for the guys to have proper fight shorts. So locally produced fight shorts. Most of the guys were fighting in Sprawl, which was all imported stuff. It was like, I think that time it was like $800 a pair of shorts.
Giants shirts.
Yeah.
I've still got 2 pairs of Sprawls, actually.
Look, good quality stuff. But so Dave was involved in a digital printing company, and him and his father-in-law ventured into dye sublimation. They were doing gazebos and banners and tablecloths and, all the marketing type of stuff. And I spoke to him. I said, listen, isn't there an opportunity for us here to use the dye sublimation and to make fight shorts? He's like, oh, it's difficult because you need patterns and all of that. So, I like a challenge. Yeah. So we went home. I had a pair of Quicksilver board shorts that was also popular at the time. Giving away my age here now, but the
Quicksilver
Ripcord, all of that. So I took that pair of Quicksilver board shorts, which was one of my favorite pairs of shorts, and I cut it open, laid it out on our dining room table, and I digitized the pattern for it. And that's how it started. And we started a brand called Arcane back in the day. We sponsored a lot of the fighters. I think from guys like JC Lamprecht, all of the Shido boys we sponsored at one stage. I had Wade Henderson, I had Soldier Boy, I had Shauna Powers. Yeah. She was one of my one of the female athletes that always fought in my apparel. So that was quite a journey for us. And then Dave passed away in a car accident.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's about 10 years ago now. So that was quite a blow to us. Obviously, being my best friend, he was like a brother to me. And then he sat with his business now that he's built. It's moved completely away from the gazebos and that. He was just focusing on clothing. And his in-laws said to us, listen, don't you guys want to take over the dye sublimation business and just carry on with it? And at that stage, I was in the mining industry. So my wife was also working in that type of industry, but more for like a promotional company.
Yeah. She
decided, okay, she'll take the plunge and she'll go and take over this business. And yeah, it was a tough journey. She basically ran the show there. It was the business owner at that stage, which the ex-father-in-law, wasn't really involved. He was constantly out cycling and doing his thing, and it left a bit of a bitter taste in our mouth.
Pretty passive.
Yeah, and there was another brand at that stage, Primal, which Sean Tyler, that owned Fight Star.
Yeah,
he was involved in Primal, and we were doing apparel for Primal at the time.
They were quite involved with that one gym that was out there.
Yes, it was Warrior. What was it called?
Yeah, it's just escaped me now.
It was World of Warriors.
Yeah, World of Warriors.
Yeah. Then in Edenvale.
Yes.
Yeah, with Grant.
Yes, that's right.
Grant and Pietro Signoli.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, so Joey approached us. Joey was obviously looking after the Primal at the time, and he said, listen, Sean's looking for another investment. Would you guys be interested, or asked Taryn, would she be interested in going off on her own?
Yeah.
And yeah, did the business plan, went through there the Sunday. She was still driving back, and they phoned her and they said, okay, let's do this.
Let's go.
Yeah, so, we had a lot of loyal clients. Dylan from Apocalypse, he was our first client that moved over with Taryn. We've been doing Apocalypse and stuff now for ages, yeah. Dylan's actually overseas and he's still running that business. Crazy. Still doing well, yeah.
That's good, passive income.
Yeah, that's it. And then, so Taryn, we partnered up with Sean, it was Sean, Taryn, and Joey. So the company was called STJ.
Yes.
And we ran that for about, I think, 3 to 4 years. And at that stage, it was just before COVID hit. My father-in-law decided, okay, he's now retiring. He wants to move into a different direction, looking at all sorts of things like 3D printing and all sorts of different avenues. And we pitched it to him and we said, listen, why don't you buy out Sean and the other partners, Joey, and then Kirsty was also actually in the business, which was Sean's daughter and Joey's wife. Yeah, and that happened. And then 3 weeks later, after we bought the business, we had to shut down for COVID. So we've got all our eggs in this basket, and it was a tough time. We ended up making masks and buffs, and that carried us through. Yeah.
I've still got some of the buffs and the masks here, actually.
Yeah, so it was a journey. It's absolutely been a journey. So when Dave had his business, it was called SubStation. And with the bargaining council, with the sewing, with seamstresses, that he had to split the business, and the seamstresses had to be under a separate business called SubStitch. So in honor of Dave, I said, if we buy this business over, we're calling it SubStitch to make, to honor Dave's legacy. So it's all about that. And my brother, it's been a journey. We've developed so many patterns. We now do equestrian jackets, which is like top of the range stuff. Those jackets sell for like 4,500 rand.
I was actually going through proper stuff. Like I see you guys even doing bomber jackets.
Yeah, bomber jackets. I developed that for the bikers.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get that over the line now, but they just haven't bitten yet. But I see they've got the pit bulls coming up in June. 27th of June this year. And it's going to be the coldest week in the year. So hopefully we can push that over the line.
Stand and put it up,
yeah. So our bomber jackets we make out of a K-way fabric, which is quite a durable fabric. And then it doesn't have the orange lining on the inside, but we do a similar type of fabric on the inside. It gets the bunting as well, so it's quite a puffy jacket, quite lacquer.
Yeah, I actually saw in your process that you guys got a whole range of different materials that you're working on.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started out, there wasn't even ProLite. We were working honeycomb.
Yeah, it was honeycomb. We had honeycomb and drop needle, which was our staples. Yeah. The drop needle is more of a lighter fabric, more for your cyclists and that type of stuff.
Okay.
I do a lot of the equestrian girls. They like the drop needle because it's light. And it's obviously long sleeve, high raised collar, so they don't burn in the sun. And then also the fishing guys, they also like the drop needle. But we've been working with some amazing local suppliers, it's just grown the industry so much in terms of what's available out there. So I don't know if you've noticed on the latest price list, we've actually brought down our prices this year.
Yes, I saw it. It was great.
So that's the thing is, for the last 2 years, we haven't had a price increase. And then we decided, okay, well, you know what? We've got to try and be more competitive in the market. So for us as a business, it's difficult. You've got guys that has signage companies that then just buys a dye sublimation printer. So they don't need to add all the overheads of now having to pay rent again and staff again and all of that. They basically just start running the dye sublimation printer. So they're killing the market at the moment. But at the end of the day, quality speaks over that. So, you've got those three choices you can make. You've got how long does it take? Yes. What does it cost and how good's the quality, and you can pick two. So for us, it's never been about the pricing as much as it's been about the quality.
Yes.
But you'll know as well, we stand behind our product. Look, we run into issues here and there.
Every
business does, and especially on new pattern development as well. You'll make something and then you've got to change the shoulder line, or you've got to increase the length of the sleeve, or whatever it is. I'm very fortunate to work with some great jiu-jitsu gyms as well, like Cornerstone. We've developed a grappling short specifically for them, so they own that pattern, and that's the thing is as well. There's a big loyalty within this industry.
Yes,
is if I do something for Valhalla, I'm not going to give it to the next gym and the next gym and the next gym, because then everyone just ends up with the same stuff out there. I want Valhalla to say to me, "This is what I want out of a pair of fight shorts," and we can develop it and do that for you.
And, when the teams pitch up at tournaments, it makes a big difference how they look.
Yeah.
They all arrive and this team just looks spectacular.
Absolutely,
and that's exactly what you're saying with the different patterns.
But it goes across all the industries. We look at the rugby as well. So we've gotten into the Diggers Rugby Club. So what happened with Diggers is the first year that I joined. So I actually didn't join Taron immediately in the business. I was still in the mining industry, and I decided, this is my passion. So I opened up a separate company called Sports Kit.
Okay.
So Sports Kit, I was basically one of Taron's clients, and I was a reseller. And I got Diggers on board, and they didn't want to change suppliers because it's a big move for them. I think they've got like over 400 or something rugby players and that.
It's crazy.
So what they gave me is hoodies for the coaches. So that was the first item I made. 3 years later, they contacted me. They said, "Those hoodies are still perfect. Do you want to now come and do our tender for the rugby jerseys and the rugby kit?"
Well, I think that's why like the Jits teams and the MMA teams like keep coming back, is because it just doesn't fade.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It just keeps going and going.
That's
and going.
it. So Sean Marks, he was a fighter out of Shido as well.
Yeah.
Out of Pretoria. I made him a white T-shirt. It was a sponsored T-shirt.
Yeah.
And he sent me a photo 6 years later. He'd become a power lifter, twice the size, still wearing the same T-shirt. And that speaks for the quality. If you look after it, these things will last you years and years. And that's the thing. Dye sublimation is a very niche market because not everyone likes the polyester feel.
Yes.
Personally, I like a cotton T-shirt. Yeah, I'm a cotton T-shirt guy.
Is that something you're going to look at in the future?
I'm doing cotton at the moment. I'll be honest with you. The process that we use is called direct to film. So you print on a film and you heat transfer the ink basically onto the shirt.
Okay.
So it's a much quicker process than having to go silk screen route. But the quality doesn't last as long. You've got 20 to 40 washes before it starts cracking. And
so the silk screen would last longer.
The silk screen will last longer. And then there's another process out there called direct to fabric, where you basically load a T-shirt into a printer, and the print jets specifically print onto the T-shirt. So a company called Vic Bay, they're currently offering that. It's an expensive process and it takes long, but it's a very good quality process, which you're paying like $300 a T-shirt. I mean, there it's $80 more than a dye sublimation shirt, where we can go full color, full coverage. So you've got to ask, what do you want out of the product? But if you do need a cotton shirt, there are avenues. If you're doing a volume thing, I use a guy out by Ellis Park. He does silk screen printing. So for like the Crusaders, we've done their regional shirts now. It was 210 T-shirts that we did for them. He knocks it out in 3 days for me. So, but you've got to do volume with that. That type of thing. Because your setup fees become expensive. But this year we're offering basically everything. We've gone into the gazebos, and if you want embroidery, and if you want branded umbrellas or water bottles, we've now partnered up with one of our. It's a family friend of ours, and she's got that avenue. So anything right now that people are looking for, I've got a lady who does sports bags. So if you're looking to have kit bags made, or she does bulletproof vests, she does a little bit of everything.
But ours were vinyl printed on, I think, or something, and they didn't last very long. But when I did have the bags, the guys went ballistic for it.
Yeah.
I've actually still, back when we started this gym and we first got our first sublimated shirts, it was actually a vest.
Yes.
And I got it through Kirtley.
Yes.
So Kirtley,
So Kirtley is the company that Taron worked for.
Yes, that's right. That's when I first met Taron,
Yeah, so he's transitioned as well. I think he's now called Kwin or Quinn, or I don't know how you pronounce it. But I believe he's also moved overseas.
And how is your market? Is your market very saturated at the moment?
At the moment, extremely saturated. It's like we see competitors pop up on a weekly basis. But you've got the guys that think they can do it, and we've paid a lot of school fees.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys have
paid a lot of school fees
a while now, so your experience counts in your favor.
This year it's 10 years on our own.
Yeah, you see.
And we started this in 2009.
And Taron's been in it since Kirtley, so it's been
so she's been involved in the industry for 17 years.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, so we were pioneers in that sense. A lot of the local clothing brands manufactured through us. Yeah. So that also led me to close down Arcane, because now I don't want to compete with my clients. It felt a bit unethical, and that's the thing. So I decided, no, let's stop that. So in the same sense, we've got fishing brands out there, and we've now just launched a fishing brand called Real Wear, which is just fishing shirts and stuff. But the market out there is big enough for everyone to have a bit of the pie.
Yeah. Well, look, we've been up and down, working together kind of thing. But now I've always come back to Nick because the quality at some of these other
Yeah, we've
fly-by-night
been
kind
through
of
some
places.
stuff.
Yeah, we've been through quite a bit. We'd have some back and forth messages with each other, colorful messages. But I'm glad that we stuck it out and that we are where we are. Your quality is exactly that. It's very high quality, and that's why we keep coming back. It's just there's nobody out there that I can find that can beat you quality-wise. And also your range of products that you got is so extensive. It gives me opportunities as a business owner to broaden the spectrum of what I can offer my clients.
Yes.
And that's looking for that. Like I said, that I've got Sublimation shirts from over 10 years ago that are still. I still wear them for training, and they just don't break.
Yeah.
And the stitch work. I think there was one time when we had a issue, but you fixed that pretty quick. And since then, we haven't had any stitch work. But I know with some of the other guys that we went to, it's like they would say that the material that they're using is this, but then when it comes up, it's a very different material, almost see-through. Stitch work starts coming loose on the hems and that, and it was, come on, guys.
So what the issues that we had is your logos and that. We were stitching through your logos, which was also a learning curve for us, as to where do you place the logo, how far do you place it from the bottom of the sleeve so that it doesn't, you still compensate for the seam allowance and all of that. So like I said, it's been a learning curve as well, and you've also helped us develop quite a few of our products. Your sleeveless hoodie that we did for you, that's it. That was one of the ones we developed.
And then also the Corfit vest. I see it actually still called Corfit.
It's called the Corfit vest. That's your vest with the built-in support
to the price list.
No, absolutely.
That's good. And then like going forward, what are your goals for 2026?
So this year we've got a different approach. You see, it's difficult with having 3 kids. Taryn has to leave at 1:00 in the afternoon to go and pick up kids from school, and then it's homework and all of that. Then after that, she sits at her desk. We've got an office at the house as well, and she carries on working some nights until 11:00 at night. Where I'm on a motorbike, so if it's raining, I'm now getting wet. But I've got to be in the business, and I've got to stay more involved in the business. So Monday to Friday, I don't want to be outside of the business. So with that, we've changed our approach now with our sales team as well. We've broken down our break-even point, and we've split that into 4 sections for each salesperson, including myself. So I also do the sales. I do the IT. I do anything that's wrong. The guy gets locked in the bathroom. I've got to drive to the hardware, and it's happened a few times. The same guy has locked himself in our bathroom 3 times. So we've now taken the key away. So. But so the approach is this year is not to try and wait for business to come in. Go back to people, buy from people. People buy from relationships. Get to know the clients. Like we've got a personal relationship beyond business.
Definitely.
And I think that is what's kept us going, is because how I operate, I know how you operate, and I know where your limits are, you know where my limits are, and we've come to that agreement to say this is how we're going to run this moving forward. And it's important for us to build those relationships, and it's difficult to do that if you don't speak to your clients, So it's more of a personal approach this year, and trying to build those repeat customers for us.
Good.
Our dynamic has changed. We've got one client who's she's done phenomenally well with us. 2 years ago, she did 2.4 million rand turnover with us. And this is one girl running one website. She does crop tops, leggings, and that type of stuff for a whole range. So it's fitness, gym apparel, it's paddle, it's
awesome,
golf. Man. And she's doing extremely well.
I love success stories.
And then, but now what happened with her is 2023, that December, they broke into her account. She was doing a Google marketing, and they stole, I think, 40,000 rand out of the account.
Bastards.
And then when they took another 20,000, she saw, well, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
So she kind of got a bit of a scare, and her business has kind of taken a bit of a dive. Now, this last year, she's now started the marketing and all of that again. So that's picking up again, But for her, like, we put in an entire production team just for that one client, to make sure that she's got her separate line, so that if she's got an order for like 300 leggings, it doesn't affect my other customers where we've got now to do 10 T-shirts or something quick. And that's another thing with SubStitch is we don't have a minimum order quantity.
Thank goodness.
So it's difficult because like our wrestling, Taryn looks after most of the wrestling gyms in the country.
Yes.
We do the North Gauteng, we do a lot of the wrestling gyms. We've now built that portal for them on SportsKit, and all the wrestling gyms are now listed on SportsKit. So we've taken that gym's admin away for them. So their moms and dads can go onto the website, order the kit, and it gets delivered to their door. So it's just about like, what do the clients want out of it? How do we make things easier, and how do we fix processes to?
I tell you, I would love to get you involved with like the MMA SA teams.
Yes.
My big problem is that because it's got the Protea on it.
Yeah, so that has to go through a certain company.
It becomes so sticky, and I don't really want to bang them, but I'm going to, because we've always got issues.
So minimum order quantity and turnaround time, I know, is a big problem with that type of.
But not only that, it's like we get our stuff like when we're sitting at the airport. Now all of this kit comes to us, and like half of the kids are trying to swap their kit out because this is 17 sizes too big. This one's made for a 3-year-old.
Yeah,
we were shocked at what we got.
Yeah, it's difficult. Look, we've tried to get into that space as well. Unfortunately, it's difficult to.
Yeah, it's very difficult. The people who run it are very old school.
Yeah,
and they don't allow outsiders to come in at all, even if it's for the betterment of the team and how the team looks. We are so. It vexes me to a point where we have to keep using all they do is they keep the same colors and they change some little pattern on it.
Yeah.
Let us walk into another country looking like champions straight off the bat.
Yeah,
we've got the cricket team who's got this amazing white kit and they look incredible.
Yeah.
Give us the same kit. We're all Proteas. I hate to tell you this. We're all Proteas. We're walking and representing our country. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Try maybe from your side, speak to people, see what you can do. Because if you can get into that, I think you smash for all of the teams.
Absolutely. And that's the thing for us as well is we try and keep our turnaround times down to 10 business days now.
Yeah.
So my father-in-law runs the factory, and we've got an amazing receptionist now as well. So between the two of them, they've got an order book they check every morning.
Yeah.
So he gets in at 5 o'clock in the morning already. And then he sits and he makes a list out of the order book, what's due for the next couple of days. And then it allows us to track as well. So you don't forget about an order that's now maybe come in after an urgent order or something, and it just falls through the cracks.
Yes.
So I must say our turnaround times, I've had like 2-3 years ago, and I think we've also had some hiccups with that with like pushing hard to get orders out. I've many a night come through at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock to come and deliver your stuff.
You've even delivered at my house.
Yeah, but now lately, I mean, I haven't missed a deadline in the last 2 years. It's amazing. It's really amazing. It's also just about sitting there, getting the orders processed and that. So if you like for your 10-year anniversary when you did your kit change, for me to change all of that artwork takes time.
Yeah, of course.
So your first new patterns. Yeah, so if you put an order in your first 2 days, I'm literally just sitting there changing digital patterns, making sure everything's in the right spot. Because also your logo location changes from a small to an extra large to a 3 extra large. So if you put a logo here, it'll be closer to the center on a small, and it'll be further away or closer to the sleeve on a big size. So it's a visual thing, but if you do it every day and you become so accustomed to where a logo needs to sit.
I think over the years that I've been with you, we've changed twice. I think our 10-year one, all we did was we added the 10-year laurel to what we already had. And then now recently we did a whole change.
Yeah, I really like that kit as well. It's a very, very nice design.
You got some bad news coming your way, because some of the guys we want to add, instead of just the grey, because for the coaches we want to do we had that orange striping. We want to do a turquoise striping in there, and then for the rest of the team we want to do the grey, the red, and white.
And the white, no, that's not that's like I say. Now it's a quick change for us now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's been like I say, it's been a journey. We've had some tough months, but then also you're blessed with amazing clients, the repeat customers. I know I can count on you. Every 2-3 months I get a decent order from you.
Yeah,
I think you are sitting in my top on my book of business now, in my top 5 clients, which is amazing.
There's another order coming up next week.
No, I'll appreciate that.
Well, let's jump quickly. I've got about 2 minutes left with you. Let's jump on to. You're a big bike enthusiast.
Yes.
How long have you been involved?
I've only been riding for about 4 years, officially on a proper bike. You ride the PB50s and stuff when you're a lighty and that. I started riding on a Yamaha FZR 1000. That's why I decided to teach myself how to ride a bike. And then about a year into that, I bought a Harley Davidson XR 1200, which is like a flat track racer. It's not your old school Harley with the big handlebars. I enjoyed that bike, and then I lost it through Galuli's the one day, and ended up through that barrier.
Oh my soul.
Yeah, and then it was my first accident, so now I don't want the wife to not complain, you know. So I'm like, shake it off. Oh, I'm fine, but I got hurt in that accident.
But bro, now you got like a super
I've got a Hayabusa,
giant jet between your legs.
Yeah, I've got a Hayabusa, and then I've got another Harley now as well, a small little 1200, which is a Sportster, which is amazing.
I love the Harley, yeah.
And then my father-in-law's given me his 72 Softail, which is a custom built.
So you said with 3 bikes?
My father-in-law says it's my bike.
It'll
stay his bike. It's a heavy bike. It's difficult for him to ride it. He's also got a little 1200. We went for a breakfast run yesterday, all of us on the Harleys and that. Yeah, it's quite lekker.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we took the GSXR and the Busa, we took that through to Red Star Raceway just to go test that, and it's quite lekker.
Good day. Well, guys, if you need any apparel, if you need any sublimation, any silk screening,
silk screen, anything,
ETF,
anything basically branding related,
banners, gazebos, whatever you're looking for, table covers and everything, get a hold of Nick. If you don't have contact numbers for SubStitch, can't find them online, get a hold of me. I'll give you all of the contact details. But otherwise, Nick, thank you very much for coming through. I appreciate you. And here's to many, many more years together.
Great stuff. Appreciate it.
Thanks everyone. Cheers.
Cheers.